Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our major stories. Governor Samuel Ortom briefs President Muhammadu Buhari on the security situation in Benue State, claims militia attacking residents camped in Tunga village in Nasarawa State. Governor Tanko Almakura counters claim. 2019 general elections beckon as INEC announces timetable and schedule of activities for the polls. NNPC opens new crude oil contract bid. GMD of the state oil company warns against sharp practices in the process. Plus, North and South Korea to hold military talks to reduce border tension following first high-level meeting in 2 years. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. And there's more. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. We also have the Eyewitness feature with which you can share those pictures, videos and news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And talking about pictures, here are some of them, and videos as well, that you sent into our Eyewitness portal. Let's begin with this one from Adele Road of the 3rd Mainland Bridge, showing this long queue of vehicles as a result of a container which fell on the road. According to our Eyewitness reporter, motorists had to wait for a while before the container was removed. Still on the gridlock is this picture from Onitsha-Asaba Road in Anambra State, showing vehicles which our Eyewitness reporter alleges were held down from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. He laments the stress commuters, most of whom were returning holidaymakers, had to go through just to get home. And this next image is from the Banex Bridge in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, showing these cabs, which our Eyewitness reporter says are packed on the road, waiting for passengers. He wants this illegal bus stop removed to prevent road mishap. And our final image is from the Federal Housing Estate Road in Kaduna State, showing this road, which our Eyewitness reporter alleges has been abandoned since 2013. He wants the government to do something about this because the project is already 50% complete. And please note that you are our eyes and ears. Wherever you are, please send those pictures and videos of what's happening around you. More than 200 companies have submitted bids to lift Nigeria's crude, and that's according to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. The Group Managing Director of the corporation, Mr. Mikanti Baru, says the bidding process is an indication of President Muhammadu Buhari's drive for transparency and accountability.
This is Red Star Oil and Gas.
It is the 2018-2019 crude oil term contracts bid opening by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the third bids under the present administration. Investors and major players in the nation's oil and gas industry are on ground to ensure that the process goes without hitches. A total of 254 companies are bidding as against 224 in 2017. One after the other, the NNPC management examines each bid.
For you to select customers, off-takers, we call them off-takers, you must have process. We have very transparent and accountable process which can be tested at any point in time. And of course, we also have to comply with the Public Procurement Act requirements, which is that, every step that is required should be known and be transparent to all. As a matter of fact, if you go take a look at the advert that we place, we are so clear on our requirements that nobody can make a mistake about it.
We continuously do refresh the bidder's position or lifter's position on a yearly basis because we think that there are opportunities for other players that could come in, and we don't want to shut them down. For now, we will do another term contract, God willing, next for 2019-2020.
The evaluation of bids are expected to take 3 to 4 weeks. And already, the NNPC says 16% of the crude will go to North America.
The last is yet to be heard on the crisis rocking the petroleum industry. Now, the chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Downstream, Joseph Akinlaja, has described the proposal by the Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Pt.2, to have different prices for petrol in the country as an attempt to smuggle the policy of deregulation through the back door. Last week, the Minister of State for Petroleum made some proposals to the lawmakers as a way of addressing the scarcity of petrol in the country.
A government says don't sell petrol price beyond 145 naira per liter. The same government says landing cost is 171 naira. Well, which magic do you want to apply to strictly enforce 145 when you yourself have said one landing cost is 171 naira per liter, and you are not asking for subsidy? That's why I say it's an issue we will take up immediately. We resume next week. Which business model is that? So for him to say, and some will be allowed this, maybe that's what is happening now. Why some people are now selling above pump price somewhere, and another selling at this thing. If they cannot do that, that cannot stand. That is one of the models that should not fly.
Youths in Oyo State have joined forces with the Department for Petroleum Resources to force petroleum marketers to reduce their pump price and sell at the government-approved price of 145 naira per litre. During the agency's routine inspection in Owerri, the state capital, the agency sealed about 4 filling stations under dispensing.
The drive-through experience for motorists at fuel station is gradually returning after weeks of difficulty finding petrol. While this may be the case in major cities, petrol stations in Owerri, the Imo State capital, appear defiant as the product sells above federal government-approved retail price of 145 naira per litre.
The station claim they don't have fuel.
Officers of the Department of Petroleum Resources has been called up to duty once again, and they are joined on this occasion by some protesting youths who say they have had just enough. As the monitoring progressed, recalcitrant marketers are sanctioned for either dispensing less quantity for more money, selling above the 145 peg, or hoarding.
If we come back here by tomorrow or even this evening and hear that they have gone back to selling anything above 145, we are going to auction the products, and after auctioning, we will seal the station. So I'm advising them that they should please don't buy any product and they know they can't sell at 145 at their retail outlets, because EPR will not take it lightly with them.
The culprits, as always, keep making the excuse of buying the product at a premium, but the Department of Petroleum Resources is not buying any of that, as they insist, though all marketer will defy government directives.
And let's move over to our Abuja studios now, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, Melinda. Let's begin with politics, where activities are expected to be ramped up in the coming days as the Independent Electoral Commission has announced the 2019 election timetable and schedule of activities. Addressing a press conference in Abuja, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the Presidential and National Assembly primaries will begin on August the 18th, while campaigns will commence on November the 18th, 2018. The campaigns for governorship and state assembly elections are scheduled to commence on December the 1st, 2018.
Local government elections. The decision of the Commission to fix election dates is to engender certainty in our electoral calendar and to enable all stakeholders prepare adequately for elections, as is the case in many mature and developing democracies. Already, the Commission has concluded its strategic plan and the strategic plan of action for the current electoral cycle and beyond, covering the period 2017 to 2021, as well as the election project plan. The Commission is moving away from the culture of quick fix, fire brigade approach to the management of elections in Nigeria. As our democracy matures, the planning and implementation of electoral activities should be predictable and systematic. This is all the more pertinent given the size and population of the country, the terrain, logistical requirements, the increasing number of political parties, security challenges, and the number of constituencies for which elections are to be held. For instance, in 2019, the Commission will conduct elections for 1,558 constituencies, made up of 1 presidential constituency, 29 governorship constituencies out of 36, 7 governorship elections are staggered and conducted off-cycle, 109 senatorial districts, 360 federal constituencies, 991 state assembly constituencies, 6 area council chairmen, as well as 62 councillorship positions for the FCT.
Well, meanwhile, with just days to the Anambra senatorial rerun election, the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Victor Ume, is rejuvenating his campaign. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed the election for January 13th, as all litigations have been concluded. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano is leading the campaign train, wooing the electorate to ensure that APGA wins with a landslide.
Ojoto, the headquarters of Idi Emili South Local Government Area, comes alive as the All Progressive Grand Alliance campaign train for the Anambra Central Senatorial rerun election, led by Governor Willie Obiano, stormed the area to rally support for the party's candidate, Victor Ume. The wife of the late leader of the party, Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, had this to say about the senatorial candidate.
He has fought many battles on behalf of this party. How else can we say thank you?
For the APGA leadership, it's all about coming out en masse to vote.
All our party members and the voters will come out on Saturday to vote.
While the transition committee chairman says the election is done and dusted in favor of APGA, the National Publicity Secretary gives reasons why the election is a special one.
We're going to express our joy that for 3 years we've been without representation, and at last God has made it possible.
Dismissing insinuations of pending court cases on the election, the candidate says he is happy and bold to state that all litigations have been done away with and the election set to hold as scheduled on Saturday.
I want to appeal to you, Idemili people, that we should set aside our clannish interests and follow the truth.
The governor expresses confidence in Victor Ume's representation.
Amadike is very deserving to go to the Senate. It's a dictionary of its own. He will make a very strong contribution on the floor of the red chambers, and is the best qualified to go for the Senate. And I'm sure that the Southeast as a whole and Nigeria in general will be very proud of him in the Senate.
The event is rounded off with the reception of defecting members from other political parties, led by Stanley Nkwoka.
In another development, the Senate is asking the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, to explain to Nigerians why he is seeking to stop the National Assembly's probe into how the former chairman of the Pension Task Force, Abdurrashid Maina, was reinstated into the service after being dismissed. Senate spokesperson Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi says the upper chamber is surprised that Mr. Malami, who had utilized the ample opportunity given to him by both chambers of the National Assembly to state his case on the minor issue, is now the one going to court to stop the legislature's investigation. He says the Senate is commending the judiciary for upholding the principles of separation of powers and insisting on fair hearing. Senator Abdullah explains that while the Senate respects the position of the court and would respond accordingly, he has further directed the committee investigating the minor issue to expedite action and submit their report on time. And while the news at 10 returns, World Bank's new economic outlook report forecasts 3.1% global growth for 2018. That's after the break. Stay with us.